Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Janelle Slade. Preliminary autopsy results show Selena Not Afraid died of hypothermia.
But 23 days after the 16-year-old Hardin girl went missing, both the Bighorn County Attorney and the Sheriff's Office say this case is not closed.
County Attorney Jay Harris says the preliminary results do not indicate physical injuries consistent with an assault or physical abuse.
But he does say the official cause of death remains open until toxicology reports are fully reviewed. Those results could take several weeks, and in the meantime, Harris reiterates in his statement his office will conduct a full examination of evidence and all the aspects of the investigation itself. Now, the autopsy conducted by Montana's chief medical examiner found evidence consistent with death by exposure to elements. Undersheriff Eric Winburn tells Q2 there were no signs that the body was moved to the spot that it was found.
He also adds all of the investigative reports still need to be completed before turning them over to the county attorney's office. Not Afraid was reported missing on New Year's Day after reportedly being left at a rest stop between Billings and Hardin. Her body was found Monday by professional trackers from the U.S. Department of Interior after doing a grid search of the area about 1.5 miles from the rest stop.
And we just got this press release from Crow Tribe Chairman A.J. Not Afraid. He says that he has formally requested the assistance of Montana Attorney General Tim Fox for help with investigation into Selena Not Afraid's death.
Well, an outpouring of support continues tonight in Selena's hometown of Hardin as family, friends, and community members gather at the high school.
Q2's David Jay is there and filed this report just moments ago.
We're here at the Hardin High School football field where a vigil is scheduled tonight at 6 o'clock at Hardin High School. A lot of the community is kind of saddened by it. We've heard some things from people on Facebook where it's been really tough on the community and the students this week. So they do have this vigil scheduled for tonight. Also a service on Sunday at Hardin High School for Selena at 11 o'clock in the morning. Also, some of the family members we're told have been raising some concerns about some of the investigation and so forth. We hope to talk with some of them tonight. And all around the state, they've been having some of these vigils over at Bozeman, Missouri, and another one scheduled out in Ravalli County on Monday. But tonight, it's here at Hardin High School, starting at 6 o'clock. In Hardin, David Jay for MTN News.
All right, thank you, David, and we'll have more from Hardin tonight on the 10 o'clock news here on Q2.
Well, Montana's 2020 campaign season is on the radar tonight here in Billings as the Yellowstone County Republicans host the 3 GOP candidates vying for their party's nomination for governor.
Now, tonight, for the first time, all 3 GOP hopefuls will be on the same stage to debate the issues.
Q2's Jay Cohn is handling our coverage tonight and joins us now live with those details. Jay.
Hey, well, thanks, guys. We're here at the scene of tonight's Republican governor's debate, the Billings Hotel and Convention Center right off King Avenue, the King Avenue interchange in West Billings. It's a familiar venue. Many events in Billings held out here at the Hotel and Convention Center. If you recall, just a couple months ago, the Interior Department held their public meeting about the the Keystone Pipeline. But tonight, it's all campaign focus we get a glimpse into the 2020 campaign for governor here in Montana. And as you mentioned, for the first time, all 3 of the leading GOP candidates will be on stage at the same time. Those include, of course, sitting Attorney General Tim Fox, also Kalispell State Senator Al Olszewski, and the sitting Congressman of Montana, Greg Gianforte. He's looking to change his work address from Washington, D.C. to the East Wing of the State Capitol building in Helena. It promises to be a spirited campaign, and tonight we'll get a glimpse as to how these candidates stack up against each other as we build momentum building towards the June 2nd primary here in Montana. Now, if you recall, we mentioned the first time all 3 will be on stage together. Back in November, State Senator Olszewski, along with Attorney General Fox, debated each other in Helena. Congressman Gianforte unable to be at that debate. He said he was traveling to be with his family over Thanksgiving. So tonight, all will be on stage to face each other. We're expecting a big crowd here. The Republican Party here in Yellowstone County had people register to attend, so they got a head count. They're expecting over 300 people who have already registered to be here tonight. It's also being live streamed. The Yellowstone Republican Party live streaming the event on their Facebook page at Yellowstone Republicans, and the Northern News Network is also broadcasting this event live across the state tonight. I'm told between 8 or 9 of their affiliates statewide will be carrying tonight's event. We'll have full coverage for you coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. So for now, it's just kind of wait and see. All the 3 candidates are here, and the excitement is beginning to build. Lots of anticipation of what we might hear tonight. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Jay. We look forward to your report tonight at 10 o'clock.
As for the Democratic candidates for governor, Mike Cooney, Whitney Williams, and Casey Schreiner are set to debate next month, also here in Billings. That event is coming up February 12th at MSU Billings, hosted by the MSUB Democrats. Well, House impeachment managers are doing a deep dive into their first charge against President Trump: abuse of power.
Day 2 of opening statements still underway right now. House impeachment managers have been drilling down on the charge that President Trump abused his power by pressuring Ukraine to investigate his political rivals.
The president's legal team has called the impeachment case invalid because it doesn't name an actual crime. Well, today, Democrats are trying to debunk that using past statements from the president's own attorneys and allies. And before the proceedings begin, MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison spoke with each of Montana's senators. He got their take on what has happened so far and what they're expecting in the days to come.
Senator Steve Daines voted this week with fellow Republicans to reject Democratic requests for additional documents and witnesses at the Senate trial. He told MTN News it's not the Senate's job to bolster the House Democrats' case.
The problem we have is the Democrats have an incomplete case and didn't get all the work done in the House. The reason for that is they were trying to rush this through to affect the outcome of the next election. That's what this is all about.
Daines says if Democrats wanted certain witnesses, they could have waited for courts to rule whether those witnesses could testify. But he did acknowledge that could have taken months or longer to resolve. Democratic Senator Jon Tester voted to add the witnesses and hopes that could still happen later in the trial.
Politics aside, this really has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with some pretty serious charges that have been laid out over the last 20 hours that we need information on. And if the president truly is innocent, he shouldn't be afraid of these witnesses.
Daines, however, said the impeachment charges are an entirely partisan affair. When asked if he wants more information about the charges that the president acted improperly on aid to Ukraine or didn't cooperate with the inquiry, Daines responded this way.
But this is the first set of impeachment articles ever presented in terms of impeachment of a president of the United States where there is no alleged crime committed.
The Constitution says a president can be removed for treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors, but doesn't further define the terms. Daines also said voters, not Congress, should decide whether to remove Trump from office.
The Democrats are asking us to overturn the election of 2016 and to permanently remove President Trump's name from the ballot in 2020.
Tester said it's the job of the Senate to decide impeachment charges and that Trump's team so far hasn't really addressed the charges against him.
I think it's really important when the defense comes up in the next few days, and I look forward to this, that they engage on what the prosecution has said on the president's actions.
It takes 67 votes to convict the president in a Senate where Democrats control only 47 seats. I think we know what the final outcome will be. The only question may be, how will that result play with the public? Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Mike. Now, the impeachment hearings are expected to continue well into the night.
Well, switching to health news, 600 cases of a new illness known as the coronavirus have been reported worldwide. Q2 spoke to Riverstone Health here in Billings about the potential risks of that virus. The first and only case seen so far in the United States was reported in a Chinese traveler who flew into Washington state. It's officially titled 2019 N coronavirus. The N stands for novel, meaning the illness has never been seen before. Healthcare professionals are still learning information such as the length of incubation and how easily it can be transmitted. The virus can be spread through respiratory droplets and contact with someone who is ill.
Well, we would just like to say that we don't want people to be alarmed about it, but we do want people to be aware. We are getting regular updates through the state from the CDC, and we're communicating with providers in our area to keep them apprised of it. And so it's on our radar, and it's on providers' radar. And then, of course, to let them know to really watch for that travel history if anyone has a travel history.
Well, at this time, there is no immunization available for prevention of coronavirus, increasing the importance of avoiding sick people or areas of large crowds, as well as being diligent with hand washing.
An update on a missing persons case that we told you about last night. Billings police say that Ashley Bauer, who they had asked for help finding yesterday, has been found. Police say the 33-year-old was located and is safe. No further information was released.
There's more news from across our state on the MTN 9 o'clock news. Montana State University is set to host a 29-hour fundraiser for 60 special projects. That story and more on the statewide news on the CW.
But first, on tonight's 5:30 news, we look back and remember the tragic events that unfolded in northwest Montana 150 years ago.
And in sports, Scott checks in with Colstrip's basketball guys. Only 2 losses for a team that graduated most of its starters.
And coming up in weather, Doppler radar showing some scattered rain and snow showers between Hardin and Sheridan. Will any of that come to the Billings area? We'll have the answer coming up in a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.